tearing out pieces of me to replace the broken pieces of you. Tearing out pieces of me to replace the broken pieces.
I have been all about the Macs lately, so I thought I'd share a more detailed tutorial on how I make them. I start off by sifting my superfine almond flour, powdered sugar, and cocoa into a bowl. If you have any chunks, you can kind of push them through with a rubber spatula until everything is super fine. You're then going to whip up egg whites, caster sugar, and a little bit of cream of tartar until you have stiff peaks just like this. You're then going to slowly fold your dry ingredients into that French meringue in 3 additions. You want to fold around the bowl and then kind of push through the center until your batter reaches kind of a lava-like consistency, just like this. Then it's time to add it into a piping bag fit with a round tip and pipe your macaron shells. You're going to bang them on the counter, pop any air bubbles with a toothpick, let them rest, bake them up, and then fill them with your favorite type of filling. I wanted these to be hot chocolate macarons, so I filled them with a chocolate and marshmallow buttercream. This video is not to share a recipe, it's not a tutorial, it truly is just a video to admire how adorable these miniature macarons truly are. I've made mini cakes, mini cupcakes, and now mini macarons. What dessert should I make mini next? I absolutely love strawberries, so today we're making this strawberry vanilla cake. It's made with fluffy and soft vanilla cake layers, and I'm topping it with a layer of raspberry jam and then some strawberry buttercream. The trick to getting your strawberry buttercream to taste just like real strawberries but not throw off the consistency is to use some freeze-dried strawberry powder along with a bit of strawberry jam. It gives the frosting a beautiful color and an amazing taste. Once I stacked my cake layers, I covered them in a thick layer of strawberry buttercream and then added a textured look with an offset spatula. Once that was all ready to go, I added a ring of buttercream, strawberries, and some fresh flowers to decorate this cake. It's a pretty simple decoration, but when a cake tastes this good, I feel like you can let the flavor speak for itself. I'm kind of convinced that I have to make a miniature version of every cake I make now, and this is the mini version of my strawberry cake that I shared yesterday. So I took an extra cake layer that I had and cut out a 2-inch round, cut that in half, and then filled it with my strawberry buttercream. I added a crumb coat, smoothed that, and then added on a thicker layer of that strawberry buttercream. And once I smoothed that using a small offset spatula and a tiny little bench scraper, I added a strawberry to the top and some sprinkles. I'm not sure if I like the mini or the full version better. Mini cakes are so cute, they're almost too cute to cut into. To make this mini cake, I'm using 2-inch cake rounds that were left over from another project that I worked on, and I'm frosting them with my American buttercream. After I smoothed out the frosting, I added some colorful pink and purple buttercream around the sides and smoothed them to create kind of a watercolor effect. Then I placed some buttercream roses that I piped onto the top of the cake, added some green buttercream leaves, and then I also added some matching green dots around the base. At this point in the process, I always take a minute just to admire my little cakes because when I asked you guys what cake challenge I should do next, some of you guys said to decorate a cake backwards, and while that would just be like heartbreaking to literally scrape the frosting off of a cake, I decided this would be a little bit more fun. So here is the making of my vanilla strawberry cake, but in reverse. I can't tell if it's depressing or oddly satisfying. What do you guys think? I made this dark chocolate strawberry cake that had dark chocolate cake layers, strawberry buttercream, a drizzle of strawberry preserves, some chocolate ganache, and of course tons of fresh strawberries. It was 6 layers tall, so it ended up being a super tall cake. I did my best to crumb coat it, chilled it, then added a second layer of frosting, which I got super smooth. Then I added freeze-dried strawberries around the base and chocolate dipped strawberries on top, and a chocolate drip. Respect the drip, Karen. It was so yummy. Wish you guys could have a bite. I'm a big fan of both red velvet cake and Oreos, so today we're combining them both into this red velvet Oreo cake. It's made with obviously red velvet cake layers that I fold some chopped Oreos into. I then bake them in 3 7-inch cake pans for about 32 to 34 minutes, and while they bake and cool, I work on the Oreo cream cheese frosting. This is really just my go-to cream cheese buttercream with some really finely chopped Oreos folded into it. Once all of that is ready to go, it's time to assemble our cake. So I'm adding a pretty generous layer of buttercream between each cake layer and of course sprinkling some more chopped up Oreos to give the cake a little bit of extra texture. After covering the cake in a thin layer of frosting and smoothing it with my bench scraper, I chill it before adding my second thicker layer of frosting. Once I get that nice and smooth, I add some more chopped Oreos around the base of the cake along with some of my cake tops that I've crumbled up to add a little bit of color. To decorate the top of the cake, I used a small French tip to pipe some little dollops, and I alternated those with some mini Oreos. I was so excited to finally cut into this cake because I swear that my love language is baking, so this year for Valentine's Day I'm making some heart-shaped macarons. I colored my French meringue with a bit of pink and red gel food coloring, and then I slowly folded in my dry ingredients. I mixed them until it reached kind of a lava-like consistency, and I always like to do a figure 8 test just to make sure that my batter is just right. To make these hearts a little bit fancier, I took a bit of red gel food coloring and painted it in streaks up the sides of my piping bag, just so that these heart-shaped macarons look a little bit spicier than the ones we're used to. Once I filled my piping bag, I worked it all the way down to the bottom, and as you can see, those streaks look really fun. I then piped my heart-shaped macs freehand, which I don't really recommend. Use a template. But somehow they turned out okay in the end, and I can't wait to share them with all of my favorite people. It's Monday, so I'm back with another mini. This little V-Day cake is inspired by this sprinkle blend that has a lot of navy blue and pink tones in it. I started off with my 2-inch cake layers, stacked them with some pink buttercream, and added on a crumb coat. Once I had chilled that, I added on a second layer of frosting with some navy blue buttercream, which I loved the tone of. And once I got that smooth with my bench scraper, I added some of that gorgeous sprinkle blend around the base. I piped a pink border on top of the cake, filled the top with a few more sprinkles, and added some hearts around the base.